Well, this is the preview for Mexico against USA that's going to take place on Sunday for the first ever Nations League Cup for CONCACAF. First of all, I do want to say that Uruguay yesterday had made an offside goal, Cabecita Rodriguez from Cruz Azul, which gave them the lead over Paraguay. They ended up drawing that game. And today, the CONMEBOL people have fired those referees that did not give the goal to Uruguay, even with the VAR. Even with the VAR, they did not give them the goal. Uruguay currently stands out of the World Cup or would be in the playoffs. But that's crazy to me that stuff like this still happens, and it's gonna happen in the World Cup. You'll see with Qatar, because they paid a lot of money to get the World Cup, and there's gonna be referees for them, just like Korea did in 2002 when they made the semifinals. But yes, let's start with this rivalry game. Before I forget, we're gonna compare players. Starting 11 versus starting 11. I'm still in my feels. I am not happy with either performance, but I have had some time to think and calm down a little bit. I do want to tell you guys this. Guys, Mexico and USA played teams without the respect with the semi-professional players. This can't be happening. So both teams underperformed, and it's not acceptable by either team. Yes, Mexico went into penalties, but what I saw from Stefan really scares me, and what I keep seeing from Dest really scares me. So, alright, but let's compare our goalkeepers. The goalkeepers are going to be Ochoa and Stefan. We have Ochoa with a bunch of experience, was voted the third best goalkeeper in the 2018 World Cup. I don't know what he was voted as for the 2014 World Cup. Stefan, who is a Manchester City player now, gets minutes in a few games a year. He's there for a reason. He's very young, but they both are not the best. They're not. I don't think either of them are at their best right now. I think Ochoa's past his prime, and I think Stefan is not in his prime yet. Who's the better goalkeeper? I don't know. I would say maybe I would favor just a little bit Ochoa just because of the penalties. That gives him confidence going into this game. Right backs. We have El Chaca Rodriguez, or I don't know why Antuna. You can't even put Antuna there. We have El Chaca Rodriguez versus Sergino Dest. Chaca Rodriguez came in for a substitute, and he didn't do anything. Dest, we all know, he's very good going forward. He is a big threat going forward. But their position is defending, and they both suck. I'd probably go a little bit with Dust just because of his offensive power, but I don't trust him in the back. Greg Berhalter is going to start him to give him the benefit of the doubt to get him confident. So, do not expect him not to play. Center backs. Mark McKenzie is the best out of the four starting center backs. Mark McKenzie is the best. He's the most reliable. Brooks has been playing bad. Yes, you might say, hey, he's tenacious. He gets in players' heads. No, you need to get your job done. If you're going to commit 4 fouls in the first half and think you're not going to get a yellow card in a World Cup, then you're out of your mind. Moreno's a dumbhead. He loses his mind. He's slow. Araujo makes horrible passes along with Salcedo. So I'd give USA the center back positions just because Mark McKenzie. Mark McKenzie is more reliable than these other guys. If Johan Vasquez and Cesar Montes were called up, maybe we'd be talking about a different conversation, depending on how they would have done in this game. But Tata Martino has his center backs. So, right back and center back goes to the U.S. Left back, Robinson or Arteaga? I'm going to say Arteaga. He had a bad game though, but every other game he's played well. Arteaga offers more defensively and offensively. They both played that game in 2019 or 2018 actually, when USA beat Mexico with a 1-0 goal from Tyler Adams. When you see this picture, that same game, Arteaga was starting there and he really looked well. So, goalkeeper and left back go to Mexico. Center back and right back go to USA. Defensive mid, Joel Alvarez. There's no question there. Actually, Alvarez looked good. He did his job as a center back this game, but he's gonna be a center mid. So, and Joel made mistakes. Joel made mistakes here. So, Alvarez here. Center mids, you could say it's Guardado and Herrera against Lletget and McKennie. Wow. Other than that assist that McKennie got in that game, I didn't see McKennie. Let's be honest. But Mexico, Guardado, same as always. He's too slow to get to the ball. Along with Herrera, they both can't run. So I'll give that to the U.S. because McKennie got an assist. He's gonna be confident. He's gonna run a lot more than these guys. So there goes another possession for the U.S. Let's go to right mid. Who do we got? Lainez versus Reina. Eesh. Lainez versus Reina. What am I gonna say here? Both of these guys get involved very well. Both of these guys take on players. Both of these guys got tackled and lost balls. Both of these guys ask for the ball. Both of these guys run for every ball. I'm gonna have to give that a tie because they're both playing very well. Reina looked the best for the U.S. against Honduras, and Lainez and Lozano looked the best versus Costa Rica. Left mid, Pulisic and Lozano. Based on what I saw during that game, Lozano got more involved with his team than Pulisic. So, I'm going to have to give it to Lozano. Forward, we got Sobechu against Martin. I'm going to give it to Sobechu because he scored. He came in and he scored. Now, if you give me Martin against Sargent, they're both garbage. Both don't do anything. I mean, yes, Sargent played better as a defender than a forward, but what else can you give me? I don't want assists. I want goals. So the U.S. gets forward, center mids, right back, and center back. So yeah, I would say that the U.S. is coming in better. They got the win in 90 minutes. You're going to have youth against experience. You're going to have Mexico a little bit past their prime versus USA, who is not in their prime yet. They both did bad, so the game. Let's talk about this game. There's gonna be fouls. There's gonna be elbows thrown, a few slaps, tackles. USA players don't like Lozano. USA players don't like Lainez. Mexico players don't like McKennie. They don't like Pulisic. This is gonna be a war. This is gonna be a fight. This is gonna be played and somebody's half the whole time. You're gonna see guys high up. You are gonna see the U.S. try and keep the ball away from Mexico in the first 15 minutes, like they've done every game, and they're gonna try and score right away. USA is gonna try and score right away. Mexico is gonna be calm. Mexico is gonna struggle the first 30 minutes. In the second half, Tata Martino is gonna make some changes. That's gonna change this game for them. This last game, the 0-0 against Costa Rica, this is the first time that I've seen that the changes didn't help Tata Martino. Other than that, I've seen him make changes and it's helped. USA lost against Mexico 3-0. He made some changes. 2 of those guys scored. Versus Algeria, he brought in Lainez. Mexico tied. Versus South Korea, he brought in Pineda. Mexico won. Versus Iceland, he brought Lozano in. Mexico won. So, versus Costa Rica, 2 games ago, he brought in Lozano, Romo, a few other guys. Mexico won. So, this is the first time that I see Greg Berhalter bring in a substitute that actually made him win a game. So, yeah. Let's get real here. Everybody's trying to find the silver lining in this. I've listened to MLS Extra Time. I've listened to 11 Yanks. I've listened to Tactical Manager. I've watched what USMNT only posted. I don't know any other Mexico podcast that speak English, so I really wouldn't know how to connect with them or know what they have to say. The Mexican media on TV really doesn't care about this. I'll tell you that right now. They're talking more about Funes Mori, who is gonna be nationalized. Since Tata doesn't want to call up Chicharito, they're gonna get Funes Mori. If you follow Liga MX, you know who Funes Mori is. This is a guy that won the MLS dream here in the US, but came to the US without a visa with his brother, and he grew up here. He could have played for the US if he had a visa. So they tried getting him years ago, maybe 2010, 2011. So the US couldn't do nothing about that because of the visa. Can you believe that? And now he's gonna play for Mexico, and his twin brother has played for Argentina. So be aware. And then we have Ormeño. I don't know why Berhalter has Dike out on the bench. So who has their most complete team here? It would have to be US. US was only missing Tyler Adams. People keep saying Musa should have been in the midfield. Guys, Musa, you guys don't see Musa in the practices. Musa isn't a starter for Valencia. Musa is 18 years old and plays as a right mid in Valencia. And because you guys saw him play 2-3 games against vulnerable teams from CONCACAF, they didn't play anybody elite when he played, and they did well. And you want him to start over Yuo, who gets a lot of minutes? No. Mexico overhypes their players too. I've been hearing that Lainez is the Mexican Messi. I have not seen that. Tactical Manager said it. If he's seen it, I believe him. But I don't know why people would say that. He has impressed me. He is a lot better than what I thought. So he just doesn't have any numbers to show it. So yeah. People keep saying, why isn't Chicharito getting called up? He's got 7 goals in 7 games. Let me drink something real quick. I'm watching the Ecuador game against Brazil. Ecuador 0-0, minute 58, over in Brazil. They got Santos Laguna player and Leon player, so, and the Seattle Sounders player. center back who locked down Arriaga, who locked down Vela. So what was I gonna say? Chicharito. Chicharito does not deserve to be called up anymore. What this guy did is he got prostitutes with Miguel Layun and Hector Moreno, I think, and I don't know who else. They got these two girls, and I think they were, I don't know if they were white Argentinian. And they had, listen to this. Chicharito and Miguel Layun have a ton of money. So even if you have a girlfriend, you idiots, you go, you take out money cash, what, $1,000, send it to the girls, and let them get their own hotel, let them get their own plane flights. But what this guys did is they had the logistics guy who, does all the flights and stuff for Mexico, and the security guard, I guess. They had them put the girls, follow them during their games here in the U.S. between USA and Argentina before they played Argentina. After they played USA, before they played Argentina. You don't know, and who knows how many guys were involved with this. Out of all these guys, you guys were dumb enough to get somebody else to pay, to get Liga MX to pay for this, and you guys have all this money. You guys are millionaires, and you guys are gonna get a security guard fired. They got the guy fired, and yet you are asking for way more money in exchange when you already have millions of dollars. So Mexico has been fighting with the players because they don't get a lot of money for the rights, which, they should get more money. But at the same time, if you're Chicharito, you're one of the guys who's making the most money here, and you are gonna go and get Mexico Federation to pay for flights for girls that you are gonna bang with your friends. So you don't deserve to get called up anymore. So get somebody fired, get out of here. You don't deserve to come back. So regardless of how many goals you have, I'm okay with Funes Mori. Funes Mori has been playing balls out, except recently. So that's Chicharito for you. I don't want him with the Mexican national team. I keep seeing that Greg Berhalter out comments and stuff. Guys, we have Tata Martino, and he hasn't done anything to help this team beat and kill these CONCACAF teams. The only teams they killed by three goals was all the South American teams except Argentina. They struggled against European teams, and they struggled against CONCACAF teams. So guys, don't be dumb. Greg Berhalter gives these guys the plan. He's got Gio Reyna and Pulisic on the wings. He gives them their favorite forward partner and friend of these guys. I'm pretty sure Sabechu is not best friends with Pulisic and Reyna. I'm pretty sure Sargent is their best friend. So he gives them the tools, and they can't score. So that's that. Stop blaming Greg Berhalter, because if you bring in Jurgen Klinsmann, he's not gonna make a difference. Okay? He's been working, but it's not his fault. The guys gotta go out there and do the job, just like Tata Martino has put the guys out there. I mean, who else do you guys want Greg Berhalter to call up? Honestly, who is USA missing that you guys would say is gonna make the difference? I've got a list for you from Mexico. Mexico, they're missing Ormeño. They're missing Luis Montes. Now that he wants to play with three center backs, bring in Fernando Navarro. Give Talavera the starting goalkeeper spot. Bring in Cesar Montes. Bring in Johan Vasquez instead of those veteran center backs. Okay? And then they're gonna make a little bit of a difference. Some youth, bringing Carlos Acevedo from Santos Laguna. Instead of bringing in Martin, give Santiago Jimenez a chance to take away some marks off Lozano. So, I mean, you're missing Raul Jimenez, but he's not gonna be the same. You're missing Corona, but he's injured, and he's always injured. So, that's what you got. But who is USA missing that you guys had this bad game? Mexico had a horrible game too, but so did the US. And you're only missing Tyler Adams. Is Tyler Adams going to be the difference between you beating France? No. So, I keep seeing this thing that the US team is young. I don't hear anybody say that they're too young to start at Juventus, that they're too young to start at Barcelona, that they're too young to be playing at Chelsea. So, no. It's not going to be easy, guys, making the World Cup. I do want to tell you guys something. This was like a cold bath of ice that someone just, like a bucket someone dropped on my head. For both teams. Herrera is bench in Atlético Madrid. Lainez is bench in Real Betis. Lozano was bench in Napoli. The only starter in Europe is what? Araujo, who had a bad game. Arteaga, who had a bad game at Genk and Celta de Vigo. Not Class A teams. I understand it's not easy, guys. They are way better than me, but let's be real. Pulisic's bench. You guys may say, hey, he makes a difference. Yes, but he's bench. Okay? Is McKennie a lock-in starter? No, he wasn't. He should have been. Test, is he a starter? He was. But guess what? They spent $20 million on him. What is it, 8 months later, and now they're going to bring in Emerson, who they bought for $25 million? So, look, they sold, I even forgot that guy's name. The right back that they had, Semedo, to Wolverhampton for $40 million. They sold him for $40 million, right? And they buy Dust with $20 million, and now they're gonna buy Emerson with another $25 million, which they probably put in their $5 million of their own money. Dust is not gonna be a starter anymore, guys. So Stefan is bench. Brooks is what? He's the only starter. He's the only lacking starter. And did he play well? No. Gio Reyna should be a starter, but he's not. He was in the beginning of the season when he was hot in a hot run. Not anymore. Timothy Weah's not a starter at Lille. He comes off the bench. Mark McKenzie just got the starting lineup. Just got to the starting spot recently. So, two guys from Genk on opposite teams. So, that's that, guys. Let's be realistic. These guys are not world-class players. They are not in the top 10 in their position in the world. No, they're not. I saw a picture that they had Dest as one of the best right backs in the world, but they had him there because he plays for Barcelona. So, Yunus Musa is bench. I'm not even going to count the MLS players. So, Robinson's a starter for Fulham, who just got relegated. Sargent's just is a starter for Werder Bremen, who just got relegated. So, Let's stop hyping up these guys, and they should be playing better against these teams. I'll say it again. Um, the biggest winner of this game is going to be the loser. Because that's going to require change. That's going to require change in the players you call up. That's going to be required change in the players that you substitute, or the players that are your starters. Whoever loses this game is going to benefit the most. Because if Greg Berhalter wins this, people are going to celebrate. People are going to say they are the kings. The future is bright. But Greg Berhalter is still going to be there. And Sargent might still be the starter. And Dest might still be the starter. And Yua might be the starter still. And Leggett might be the starter still. And if Mexico wins, he's going to keep calling guys up like Pizarro, Jonathan Dos Santos, Hector Moreno, Chaca Rodriguez, Guillermo Ochoa. Players who are not playing their best right now. He called them up just because that's his team. He's got his team set for the World Cup. I've said it several times. Tata Martino has 19 players ready for the World Cup if they make it. If they make it. He has his 19 players already. There's not much that's going to change. Greg Berhalter has 11 players, 12 players. He doesn't have his forward yet. He doesn't know who his center back pairing is going to be. So, I hope Mexico loses. I really do hope we lose. And I hope I see change. I don't want Tata out. I want players out. So, let's get this loss, boys.